Hello everybody, welcome. I am Dawn. This is Wreath Decor by Dawn. I'm going to show you how to do a dough bowl. So it's just a wooden bowl with the middle carved out, if you've never seen one or done one before. I have a piece of green foam that is glued in here. I just cut it down and gave it that curve so it would sit in there properly. This is actually a piece that was left over from another project that I didn't use. So I went ahead and glued that in there. That is glued in with my glue pot with my Gorilla Glue in it. It's in there pretty good. So I've got some greenery here. I've got two of these, and most people would probably just put these in mostly together. I'm going to pull these apart and put them in so that I can fill in my base. So I have two of those. I have one of these little filler bushes. And then I've got some yellow florals here. This has got yellow and white little, I guess those would be like little, I don't know, they look kind of like poppies, but I'm not sure what they are. They don't have a name on them. So we have two of those, and then we have a, this looks like 60919. Yeah, it's like the generic 60919. We're going to use that as a filler. And then we've got this little branch filler bush here. I'm not sure if we're going to use this or not. It's got some of these twigs on it, but I don't know if I want to use that or not. But we've got it all here just in case. So we're going to play around with this. This was actually one of my subscription boxes from Deco Exchange. So I will leave a link in the description in case anyone wants to check out their boxes. I've been getting them for a couple years now. And it's just a bunch of supplies. It's not necessarily a wreath kit or a full project. You can actually just use this for all different projects. You don't have to use it on just one. But I do have an affiliate link if anyone's interested and wants to join. I will put that in the description for you so that you can go and look. They actually have 3 different tiers that you can buy. One has like signs, custom signs and stuff like that in it. And then the other's got it's a little bit more expanded than what we get. This is the basic one. And it's, I want to say it's $64 and change. That's including shipping and tax per month for me. And that's to my area. I'm in North Carolina, so your tax would be different wherever, but shipping's already included in the box, so you don't have to pay for shipping. So we're all ready to go. I forgot to get my moss. Let me grab that real quick. So we're going to use some green moss and my floral pins. So floral pins are just these little U pins. Let me zoom in so you can see here. You don't have to look at me. So there's the little pin right there. It's just got a U shape. They're about 2 1/4 inches long, maybe 2 1/8. So when you're adding moss, you don't want to glue it down. If you glue it down, that glue hardens, and then it makes it hard to get your picks and things through to your foam. So your floral foam, let me get that out of the way. So you want to make sure that when you pin it in, or when you put it on there, that you're pinning it in and not gluing it, so that you're able to get all of your stems in there. And it does not take a lot of pins to put that in there. You need very few to put that in. You just want it to hold it in place, and you don't have to really cover this 100%. I'm more worried about my outsides and my ends than I am the middle, because my greenery and florals are going to cover that. So this right here would make a great centerpiece, a side table arrangement, something to that, you know, like that. So let me get some of this out, and it's kind of messy. So I'm just going to pull off a good handful. You can use scissors to cut it. Usually what I do, I just start cutting. It's going to make a mess no matter what. And then we're going to spread it out. So I'll do this half first. And we're going to put it like right here like this. Don't need that much. Like that. So I want to be able to get my stems through there. I'm just going to take one of my pins, I'm going to dip it in my glue, not too much, very little glue on there, and I'm going to go right here in the corner and I'm going to pin that down. I'll do the same thing on the other side, and that'll be the only two places on the back side here that I'm going to glue this or tack it down, because when I put my stems in, those are going to hold it in place. I'm going in at an angle because I don't want it to go down to the bottom and hit the bottom, and I don't want it poking up the top. Alright, so on the top here, trying to keep it in the bowl. Alright, let me cut off this piece right here and we'll cover the other end. I'm going to spread this out. I have to do it in thirds here. And this is just so that it covers any open spots if you're able to see through the florals and that. Oops. And I'm spreading these pins out so that they're not all close together, keeping my stems from going through to the floral foam. Got glue on my fingers, let me get that off. Nothing worse than trying to work when you got glue on your fingers. Alright, now I'm going to take this little chunk that's already coming off right here, and I'm going to go on this side. So I think I'll do it this way since it's longer there, and we'll cover up these ends. Just trying to arrange it here. Got a big clump right there. You don't have to glue your pins down if you don't want to. They'll stay in there, and then once you get all your other stuff on there, you know, it's going to hold. It's going to hold. Alright. So like I said, on the top, I'm not going to worry too much because once my picks go in, my greenery in that, it's going to hold it. Alright, now that we got that all cleaned up and everything's covered, we're going to go ahead and start with our fillers, or our greenery, sorry. Alright, so these have, you can see where they're all sectioned off. So I am going to pull these off in the sections. They're just wrapped in paper. And then the ones that are together, I'm going to leave them together. There's some of them have 2, some of them have 3. We'll leave them all together. This one has more. These are leaves. And then these are leaves. Now you don't have to pull these apart. You could do it all in one piece, but I just think it would be too big. And then to cut it down, you could cut it down in different sections as well. This is just the way I prefer to do it for this project. So here's our second one, and we're going to go ahead and do the same thing. So you could technically take this and separate, you know, just clip it here or here and make 2 pieces out of it. But like I said, that's not how I want to do it. Alright, so now they're all separated. So this is more like a ficus leaf here. So we're going to use that. This is more of a larger ficus leaf, I guess you would call it. I'm not quite sure what it would be. These are not wired, so they're not going to, you can't fold them out. These look like more like a flat eucalyptus leaf. And then these are, I would say, like a paddle leaf. And then the little filler greenery. Balls, what do you call these little, we call them dingle balls. That's not the name of them, of course, but it is what it is. Alright, so we're going to put these in first, and I'm going to use my larger leaves here. Now you'll cut these down. You don't need them that long, so we're going to cut them down, and I'm going to fill in all the way around, and then we're just going to kind of layer all of these greeneries in. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these. So I think I'm going to do 1 at each end and then 2 on each side. So I'm going to go straight down here in the middle, and I'm not going too low. And I'm going to create my line, my boundary, I guess you could say, how big I want it to be. So the bowl itself is probably 15 inches long. So this comes out to another 5 inches. So it's going to be a nice little size. Not going to be skimpy by any means. I should have gotten my little turntable. Alright, so there's that one. So there we've got our outline. Now we're going to go in on the sides. I'm going to do one here, and then I'll do another one over here. We're not trying to cover everything. We are trying to establish our lines and keep everything kind of uniform. I don't want it that short. I don't want it to stick out too far on the sides. I hope you all are doing well. I hope that you're having a good day and doing something fun. Tomorrow is Father's Day, so wish all the dads out there a happy Father's Day. I think I'm going to use these last as fillers, and those two. Alright, so we've got our line here. Now we're going to go in between with these other leaves, these paddle leaves. More flat. I'm going to do these in between and in the corners. I think I've got 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. So I'm going to do, I think I'm going to do the 4 corners, maybe. Let's do that. Now these do have wires, so you can move those and straighten them out. And I'm raising them up. I don't want them flat. Fill in our corners, and then we're going to spread our leaves out and up, make them come up. Go. Now dough bowls, you can get these just about anywhere. Best time to get these is at the end of season at like Hobby Lobby, but you can get them online. You can get them from just about anywhere. There we go. I want to turn this one. I think these are going the wrong way. There we go. Keep them this direction. There we go. So there it is after those leaves are put in. Alright, now we're going to go in between with the others. We've got 1, 2, 3, 6 of these. But I do want some coming out the top. But I'm going to cut the stem way down so that there's barely anything on there. And I'm going to put one like right up here on the top, going in at an angle. Do the same thing on this side, going in at an angle so that these are kind of standing up. We're going to use that as fillers for when we put our flowers in. Now these we'll just do in between. I am going down at an angle so that they stand up a little bit. Don't want them laying flat. That'll work. All right, we got, whoops. Nope, I got another one. Take these and we're going to go thinking I want to do another one on top, but I might wait. Alright, so these I'm going to go coming out the side right here, going up, and then I'll do one catty corner. A lot of arrangements, yeah, you have to have a plan, but a lot of it is as you go, you'll see where you want things to be and where to fill in. All right, now we're going to take our eucalyptus. I'm going to save, how many do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, maybe not. I wanted to save some to go up top. I might wait on those and use them on the top. Let's do our fillers first. Alright, so we're going to save this for last. Let's do our flowers. This has also got greenery on it, so it's going to help fill in those gaps. Alright, now these you can see they all come, there's a bunch of different stems in here. We're going to try and separate them and use them in groups. This one right here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 on, no, maybe a little more, because those ones are separate. And then this one, the last one, I think we're going to leave it together. And we'll use that in there. Now you can separate, move these around, open them up. You don't want everything laying flat, so you want to get it all out in the open. You get more coverage too. So like that. So now I'm going to do that with the other one, and then we'll put them in. Alright, so I ended up with about 11 pieces. I don't know where the extra one came from. One of these pieces has probably got the extra flowers on it. That's fine, it'll be a filler. But these all kind of match here. This one goes with this one. So we're going to go ahead and start putting these in. So I'm going to take the fuller ones. These two. These are all the fuller ones here. Oh, this might be it right here. That's why. There we go. Now we got 12. Knew it was attached to something, obviously. Alright, so we've got these and these. So we're going to open them up. And I'm going to put these on the ends, I think. cut it down just a little bit. I'm cutting at an angle, and I'm going to take it in, get some glue on there, and I'm going to go right in here. I'm on the top, and I'm going in at an angle, and I'm pushing that in there like that. And now I can spread this out, and I can put my flowers in that where I want them to go and the fillers to go. So all I did was open that up. This goes on top. I want to try and keep them in where they want to go. You know what I mean? They're bundled together, and some of the stems are on top of other stems, and that's the way they want to sit. So I'm going to leave them like that. Because if you try to move them around too much, they're just going to want to pop right back where they were. So again, we're opening these up. That one can go on top right there. So we're going to put this one in at the other end. And I swirl it around in the glue when I do that, because that paper has a tendency to want to come off, and if you go in the direction of the paper, it helps to keep that paper on there, and then you don't have it hanging and dangling off. So I'm going in again at an angle, pushing that in. Once I get it in far enough, then we can maneuver these. That one out here. Where's the other one at? Right here. This one. This one over here. That's on top. There. Put the yellow one on top. There we go. And there's our yellow. So now they match. Now we're going to take our other bush or other pieces. This one and this one look like they are the same as those two ends there. So I'm going to put them on the sides. And basically, when you're doing things like this, you're just mimicking on one side what you do on the other side. Trying to get all the flowers in place. You can do this on there, or you can do it when you put it on, do it beforehand. You can do it when you put it on there. You're probably going to have to do it both, so it really doesn't matter. Because you'll probably end up squeezing it to get it on in there, foam, but so you'll have to fluff it back out anyway. So again, I'm going to turn it this side so that I can see. I'm going to go above this green one here on the top, and I'm going to go down and then at an angle. There, and then fluff it out. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So just getting it where I need it to go, and once I do that, then I put it in there and then fluff it back out. And again, I cut my stems at an angle. My paper was going the wrong way on that one. So we're going to go straight down and then at an angle. Come on. I want to bend. Too much glue on that one. Normally I would just pick it off, put the glue back in my thing, but it's got foam on it, or not foam, but the moss. I don't want my glue pot full of moss. Alright, so now that we got those in there, let's spread them out, open them up. There we go. Much better, much better. There. So there's those two. I'm going to move this over just a bit. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and fill in. Now I'm going to do the corners with these next two. This one and that one. Now this one just has the white flower on it, and the little yellow ones. Doesn't have the big yellow flower on it. So I'm going to put this one right here. And we're going to spread those out. Trim that down. And we're going to go right here on this corner. So we're going opposites. Right in here. Some of them go in a little easier than others. Alright, now we're going to take these. No, let's try these. Yeah, we'll do these. These match. Now this one has the yellow flower on it with it, so we'll put these in the opposite corners here. I don't want to, it's a little thick, so I'm not going to cut it. No, I'll just leave it. I don't want the pieces all coming apart. Alright, so we got that one there. Now we're going to do one over here on this side. Don't want to pull this paper off, so I'm trying to keep it all together. I don't want my flowers coming apart. But if they were to, you can take wire and wrap it around it to keep them together, or you could pick it. Okay, there we go. Alright, so we still got a couple more pieces here. So I see a spot right here that we could use some fillers. So I've got 4 left. I want these to be at the top. So I'm going to put these up here on the top. So I'll go right here at an angle. Go in at an angle. And this one has the same thing. Just making sure I have the right pieces. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to take one of these wires because these are coming apart. So one of the thin ones, I'm going to pull it up, break that paper, and then I'm going to wrap it around the others. That's going to help hold it in place as well. So it keeps them all together. Okay, now we're going to put this one over here and do the same thing, going at an angle but standing it up like that. So it's just like a little wildflower garden here. I want that one standing up. Alright, we've got 2 more. I'm going to put these at the top as well. And for these 2, I'm going to go right here at an angle towards the center and in between these other flowers. this isn't too high. You could use it on a dining room table and you'd still be able to see across the table. Alright, so there we still got some open spots, but we still have a lot of flowers left to put in, a lot of fillers. The next filler we're going to use the 60919. It's actually the imitation one, but that's what everyone goes by. And then you can separate these as well. Now, usually they come apart in 3 pieces. I like to break them up in a little more than that. So let's see. We may not need to, but we'll see. So there's 3 breaking points right there, and then the one at the top. Get that off of that main stem so you don't have to deal with that stem. There it goes. That big stem is really thick. So see how full these are? You could actually pull them apart more. The only problem when you do that is that it breaks that paper off even more, so you're going to have to either pick them or wrap them up in something. So with it only being 3 pieces, I really want to break them down more. I want 6 pieces. So I'm going to find where there's a good point to pull them apart. So some of it has greenery on one side, flowers are all on the other side. I want to get a little bit of everything. So I'm going to pull these 2 apart because they're both flowers. And then I'm going to take this greenery and this greenery and just split them like that. So this one's got the eucalyptus leaves on it, and then it has this green leaf and then the flowers like that. So then I'm going to take one of my wires, get all that paper off of there, and then I'm going to take it and wrap it around it. And I go right around it towards the top of the stem. And I'm going to use my pliers so I don't get stabbed. There we go. And then you can cut the excess off. So I'm going to go ahead and do these. So we got all these separated. So some of them are not exact matches, which is fine. They don't have to be, because they're just fillers. I tried to get them as close to each other as I possibly could. So now we're just going to take and fill these in. I want to fill in where I have holes. Again, going in at an angle and then fluffing. Okay, this is the only one that had one of these on it. I'll leave that one. I don't want to cut that too much. This one we're going to do on the other side, again in the corner, like right here. There we go. Now you can angle some of these down if they're too high. Alright, now I'm going to go in with these with the little balls on them. And we're going to do opposite sides. Now this side's already got the balls on it, so I want to put one over here and one over here, just to balance it out a little bit. Don't want all those little balls being on one side. There we go. And then just fluff this out. And then I have another one with some little balls on it. We're going to put that at this end. Should have taken, oh, they're all one. Looks like I shorted some. That's alright. Alright, we're going to come in here in this corner. and come in at an angle. There we go. And we've got 2 left, so I'm going to take this one and go in right here, and then this one I'm going to put in the center, I think. Now it did come with this little twig thing on it. I took it off because there was only one, but I have extras, so I'm going to put some of these in here and there and use those up, because I've got them sitting over here stashed to the side from other ones I pulled them out of. Unless you have multiples of the picks, then you're only going to get one of those. So I need to open this up. Let's get this in here first. So this is another reason why you don't put too much of that moss on, because you would never be able to get these thinner, more dainty wires to go straight in there. You would have a really hard time getting those through. You'd definitely have to pick it. So we'll pull our greeneries down. All right, so now this one's going to go right here in the center. And you could add some little yellow roses, some yellow peonies, whatever you wanted to this, if you wanted it to be an actual flower. These are more of your little filler flowers here. It's like wildflowers. And I have some, so I'll show you what it would look like if we put some of those in. So this is going to go straight down in the center here. We'll spread these out. There we go. There. So that's what we've got so far. Now we still got some fillers here we need to put in. So I have this filler. I still have these green leaves. I want to put these on the top. And then we also have these little balls from earlier that we didn't use. So let's go ahead and use all these up first. Now I don't think I want to cut these down very much, but let me see how much I do want to cut them down. Yeah, I think I'm going to cut just a little bit off the bottom, because I want these to be long. A little bit of glue, and we're going to go right in here at an angle and put that in. So there. So these are all going to be sticking up. I want to do one in the center, maybe 2. Got that one there. We're going to put one over here. Even it out, so I'm gonna straighten that up. Put one over here. So I'm making them even with my other greeneries and flowers here, so we keep that height. Don't want to go too big. If I put this on my dining room table and my family's here, I want to be able to see across the table and talk to them. I'm going behind here with this one. I don't want to have to be constantly looking around a arrangement. All right, now we're going to go in with these. And I don't think these will have to be cut too much. Maybe just a little. Keep with that height. Alright, so I'm going to go anywhere I see a spot. I'm going to start with my corners. And I'm pushing them down quite a bit. So we'll do our corners first. 2, 4. So we had 6 of these. So we're going to do our 4 corners. Or try to do within those corners. Like right here. It doesn't have to be in the corner, but it can go right here. Right there. These are getting a little wild over here. That one's already shorter, so we're going to leave that one. We'll come in this corner, right in here. And we'll do this corner over here. Some of these have gotten a little flattened out. There we go. Oop, one of my leaves fell off. We'll see if we can put that back on. If not, where'd it go? Comes off right there. So yeah, it should go back on right here. Maybe if I can get the stem to hold still. There it goes. Alright, we got that back on there. So now we got that one there. We got them in the four corners. So let's put a couple of in the center. I'm gonna go right down in here where I see a hole. I'm gonna pull this leaf back up that got stuck to the glue. Alright, now we've got this filler bush. Now this looks like it's got a lot of wild stems on it. I'm going to see if I can cut this down. Alright, now this is kind of compact, so let's see. We've got 6 of those, so we'll see if we can put those in. We may have to cut them down quite a bit though. But you can, this whole thing is wired, so you can put it however you'd like. So I'm thinking I'm going to cut quite a bit off, a couple inches off, and we're going to try and see how much it sticks out. If we need to cut it down more, we can. So let me pull this over here. I'm going to put this one right down in here. I'm not gluing this yet. I'm just looking to see how far up it's going to stand. If I need to cut it any more, and I do, just a little bit more. I just don't want it sticking up way too much. It's okay to have different heights, but what I'm going for here is for it to all be one height. Not one height, but not to be over a certain height. Alright, so I'm going to put some glue on this one, and so you can bend these whatever direction you'd like. Very posable. Put some glue on that, and we'll go right back down in here where we were. There we go. So see, it barely covers our flower there. That works. So I think I'm going to cut it at the bend. Trying to keep the same height, so if you have to bend it. Now this one's got a wire sticking out, so I want to make sure to fold that under. I don't want anybody touching it by mistake, trying to fluff this, and it pokes them. So I want to be very careful about that. There we go. That way I know the customer's not going to touch that and it's not going to cut them. Alright, that one was a little bit taller, so I need to cut these down just a tad bit more, or bend them down more. right down in here with this one. There, that's much better. So let's pull this up some and bend it that way. There we go. Alright, so we've got those two there. We got one over there. Let's put another one on this side. But they did not do a very good job of getting these wires down. Go. Spread these apart, go right down in here. Keeping with the angle still, go at an angle. This one to go right here. I see a spot. So we got all that wispy fun in the middle, on the outsides. There. All right. Now we're going to go in with our fillers. Let's cut these off. Alright, so you can get 2 pieces out of each one to do the fillers. So I think I'm going to do a couple of them like that, but then I'll leave a couple longer. So I'm going to cut that off right there. So we've got 2 pieces. One has 2 on it, or 3 on it, and the other one's got a little more. So I'm going to do that with a couple of these. Let's see. Like right in here, and then maybe on the other side. Let's do that. That way I don't get tempted to use them. Let me move my flowers up. I'm going to go right down in here. Push that down. So that's going to fill that in. And we'll put another one on this side. Nice and balanced. I'm going to go right here where there's a opening and a hole, and we're going to push that down in there, right there. Alright, there we go. Alright, let's go ahead and fill in around. I'm going to take the ones that have more on them, and I'm going to use those first. I'm going to go around my base, and I'm going to make sure that I'm covering any of the moss that doesn't have to cover it 100%, but anywhere I see a big opening, I'm going to put some of this in. So right there. So probably 3 on each side maybe. Much better. So now we've got 2, 4 pieces left. I see a spot right here. Right there. So now I'm just looking up top here for holes. Anywhere I see pretty good sized gaps, and I want to fill those in. I see one right here in between all of my greens. I see a chunk of moss. We'll cover that up. Get our flowers pulled out. Okay, I see another hole right here. Oops. Go right here. So this goes in between all of my other pieces. There we go. That'll cover that one. You can move all your other stuff here to cover some of these holes, but I think I see a corner right here. I want to go into this corner. I see a lot of green. There we go. There we are. So I see a hole up top here. So let me move some of this greenery around. And we'll fill those in. Everything's kind of flattened out a little bit here, so let's get it back up to where it needs to be. Let's see. Alright, so now like I said, you could add some yellow flowers. I do have some yellow roses that we could add. I think I like that. Oh, let's add that. Alright, so these have pushers on them. You can push the leaves up. And then it also has this little hanging twig thing. I'm not going to use that because we have enough twigs in there already. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to cut it. And I'm going to go into these open areas here and pop one of these in. Get it down in there. So they're just peeking out through everything. So we'll put one there. We'll put one on this side. See a spot right here. I've got one more. I'm thinking. Still feel like I have a hole right there. So I think we're going to go in here with it. Kind of in the center, but not. Right there. Work. See how nicely it fills that in? But see how nicely that looks? With those added in there. I want to thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please leave your comments below, and I will leave all the information in the description for you. Have a wonderful weekend and a happy Father's Day. Bye-bye.